Atlanta wings or Chicago pizza?
Chicago pizza all day.
There you go.
All day. 100%.
Doesn't leave, right?
Never.
All right. Now what if instead of the pizza, what if we threw in Harold's versus, probably the best Atlanta wings you've got?
No, it's no competition, bro. Like it's none. I tried the lemon pepper wet. You feel me?
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna get my mind blown. No.
That's what's up. And
Harold's all day.
That's refreshing to hear.
Yeah,
it leaves.
Absolutely.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Black Student Success Podcast, where we bring you insight and guidance from successful Black professionals. This is brought to you by InQuire Hire. My name is InQuire, and as always, I appreciate your support. So today we have the owner of the Trill and Lux clothing line. He's going to talk about his experience, the many years that he's been doing this, as well as his experience when it comes to starting a business and specifically a clothing line, just in case if any of you out there are looking to either start your own business or specifically start your clothing line, give you some tips, some gems, just some inspiration there. And he's also a proud member of Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. So let's welcome Laron Wash to the show. What's going on, man?
What's going on with you?
Nothing much, man. How you been?
I'm good, man. I can't complain.
Good. So yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna start the show off just like we normally do by asking, who is Laron Wash?
Okay. All I'm a father. Proud father of two boys, one 12, one 1 years old. I'm a graduate of SIUC. I'm a businessman, entrepreneur, all around Renaissance man.
There you
go. Yeah.
Perfect. So let's actually go straight to the beginning of kind of when Trill and Lux began. What was the inspiration behind starting that? What were the events that kind of led up to the beginning, and then up to the point where you're at now?
Well, Trill and Lux is a combination of a lot of tries and fails, right? So when I was in college at SIUC, my fraternity used to go to this place called, I don't know what the name is, screen print spot that make t-shirts. Yeah. And I would come up with the designs for the fraternity, and then I would hand it over to them, and then the designs come out trash. And I'm like, man, I want to cut the middleman out. They charge us a lot, and they give us whatever they want to give us. So I ended up buying a little $800 screen print press and start screen printing the t-shirt for my fraternity, and also other fraternities, sororities, and student organizations down on campus. And I seen that was a thing. And I just found out different ways and different avenues to get my creativity out by designing custom work on eBay. And then doing fraternity and sorority designs I was already doing on campus, just putting those on eBay and selling those as well. And it became a thing where I was like really starting to make, more than lunch money. So just start working that angle and building the customization side of it. But at a point, it was like, I don't want to really do customization anymore because you got to go back and forth with the customers. You got to get the colors right. You got to get the sizing right. There's a lot of little variations in that it's frustrating when you're a one-man army. So me and my wife at the time, at the time when we was doing it, she started her online brand, and I had the screen print equipment put away for a while, and because I had ended up opening a nightclub down at SIUC, and I've been doing that for 3 years, and then she was like, "Well, I want to use the screen printing press to work on my brand," and she amassed over 1 million followers with her brand. Is Kinky Chicks at Kinky Chicks. It's for, or right now it's at KC Apparel. It's for natural hair women. And so she wanted to start, selling merch. And what she did was we created designs together. We broke out the printing press. We went and got a shop, and we started knocking out t-shirts, and it took off. You know what I mean? And after years of support in that, I was like, I want to start something of my own, just something that I like to do. So I'm huge into like rap and hip hop and all of that. And I'm a huge fan of those guys. So I like to wear t-shirts, graphic t-shirts for different rappers and artists I like. So I was making those. And I ended up going to a KOD concert, and that's when it all started for Trill and Lux. I ended up going to the KOD concert, and I made these cool T-shirts, right? And so we went to the concert, and people was like, "Yo, where you get that shirt from? Where you get that shirt from?" I'm like, "Nah, I made this shirt."
Yeah.
You know, you got a card? Like, I got a card. But so when I came back home maybe a couple weeks later. I'm like, man, maybe I should start a site, put it together, and use this brand, this T-shirt as the launching pad for it. And it started selling a lot. And I'm like, okay, now I got to keep it going. I got to keep coming up with different designs and things like that. And it just snowballed into something that's what it is today, a very successful brand.
That's what's up. And what was the design of that shirt that you wore at that concert?
So it was the KOD, the smoke that J. Cole had. Yeah. It was a white smoke letters, KOD. And then I took the album artwork and I broke it up into the smoke clouds. So it was different parts, like the kids over here, the Kill Edward up here, like, it was just like super dope. Yeah. And super last minute. I'm like, we ain't got nothing to wear to the concert. You know what I'm saying? So put it together last minute, and man, it just took off.
That's what's up. So it really rooted in music, kind of built up your music, and
absolutely,
and it really took off. So and to think, that you bought this press not thinking that you were going to be able to start a whole business with it.
No. I was just want to do something on campus, make a couple extra dollars while I'm going to school, and that was it. I thought I was going to be doing radio and television.
Yeah. Well, look where you're at now. That's what's up.
Absolutely.
So after that point, when you figured out, okay, this is something I really want to do, what were some of those challenges that you faced when you were starting to kind of get yourself in the space of a legit business?
Well, a couple things, right? So. One, it's the paperwork for a lot of people that scares a lot of people, right? It's like, oh man, I don't know how to do this. Like, I got to fill out this paperwork. I got to go talk to these people and things like that. And since I've already done that before, when I had the Premier Lounge in Carbondale, I knew some of the ends of like getting business insurance and getting business license, tax IDs and different things like that. So that wasn't too much of a headache. I guess one of the biggest parts for me was being a part of these different platforms, right? So eBay, Etsy, and any other e-commerce platform that you have to go through to sell your merchandise. You kind of play by their rules, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, hey, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do that. And at that point, it made me feel like I wasn't a business owner. It made me feel like I was a worker. Like I've got somebody over me telling me what I can and can't do, with my business and my platform. So end up getting off of those sites and creating my own website, own domain where, I make my own rules. You can't keep me off something that I own flat out. And so now at that point, you have to be able to bring clientele to your website. Now that's the problem. See, when I'm on their platform, it's simple, it's easy, right? They have the clientele. The people go to Etsy, Amazon, eBay all the time. They search what they want to get. Boom, I'm getting it. For a new business that's starting their own website, you have to figure out not only the business end of it, and the pricing and all of that structure. You also have to figure out SEO. So now you got to become a tech guy, right? So you got like, okay, if somebody type this into Google, how do I get on the first page, second page, third page to get into my website? Okay, and if I can't get on the first page, then how do I get where they at? So by running Google ads, if you're on like hiphopdx.com, you'll see my banner up at the top. It's because I did the research. I you know what I mean? I'm paying good money for it. And it's something related to something you probably already searched before in the past. So that was an obstacle at first. But since learning that, the business sales quadrupled.
So you said, so like the marketing and trying to figure out all those things behind the scenes to make all of that flow together, and the business side, like you said, trying to get through the paperwork. And what was it like learning all of that?
It was a headache. You know what I mean? Like for me, it's like coming from a family where, business is not taught. No one that I can recall owned a business. So it wasn't nothing that was handed down. The main thing handed down is like, go to school, get a job, go to school, get a job. So this was everything about it. It was just new territory. You know what I'm saying? And it's frightening. When you don't know, it's frightening, and it's daunting to the point where you like, you know what? I don't even want to do this. I'm too afraid. I don't know what I don't know. You know what I mean? And who I don't, you really, it's almost like a lack of confidence going into it, because you got a great idea, but you don't know how to execute it. You know what I mean? So you got to bump your head like several times over and over until you finally find some leeway. And once you find a little silver lining, then, you go through that door and continue, working and researching. Because with business, this is an ever evolving thing. You have to stay on current. You have to stay on trend. You got to stay on brand. You got to know what's the new thing coming. Okay, this week Instagram is down, so you can't advertise on Instagram. So what are you going to do for your advertising this week? You know what I mean? You have to have different outlets. So, okay, for an example, sales is low. I'm advertising through Facebook and Instagram, but I'm not getting the hits that I need. Okay, well, let's find a website that caters to the people that I'm looking for, and let's pay them directly for advertising. Let's see what their traffic is on their website, right? So if xyz.com gets, or let's say hiphopdx.com gets 1 million people to go through their website a day, or 100,000, whatever it is, that's 100,000 or 1 million people that I can get in front of. So yeah, the cost up front may be absorbent, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, but the eyes that you get, and that brand recognition that you get being associated with a website like that is almost priceless.
Yeah, great point. Being creative when those things that you rely on, like Instagram and Facebook, and the ads that you get through there kind of go down. You're trying to find, okay, what's that plan B, C, D, to still try to get to what you need. So thanks for pointing that out. Now, you said that you were a graduate of SIU. How much of that education played into what you basically do with your business? I know that you started off doing stuff for the fraternity and other organizations on campus. How much of what you learned actually on campus kind of played into what you do as a businessman?
You know what? Everything that I've learned on campus played into it, and I'll tell you why. Because before then, graduated. I'm from the west side of Chicago, right? So at the time, I don't know what it looks like now, but the school systems wasn't the best, okay? And so I had to fight and claw my way with help to get in school. And so I get in there not knowing what I don't know, and behind the ball for real, and catching up and learning things. But I was exposed. It's exposure, really. So you get exposed to these different cultures, you get exposed to these different realities, you get exposed to the different possibilities of what you can do in life. You know what I mean? It grows you up pretty fast, right? And it matured me and made me into a man. And I got to credit the fraternity a lot, because what it did for me was, at that cross, I became the Polaris immediately. And that was like the president of the fraternity, for people that don't know. And now I have to go into these offices and speak with the head of the RSOs on campus, and get funding and write proposal letters and write letters for sponsorships, and delegate. And not only that, but negotiate. You know what I mean? Different events and things like that. And that taught me a lot. When I tell you a lot, because this is something I've never done in my life, it taught me a lot. And going into business, you need all of those skills to perform in business. So without that, I don't think I would be in business. A successful business anyway.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you pointed out the fact that you kind of came from not even having that type of exposure, but you were able to absorb all of things just from being on campus, and being with the surroundings that you had, and doing all these tasks once you immediately became the president after crossing. And a lot of those things you're now using within your normal business acumen. So that's really cool to hear. So now when it comes to the actual physical location, now I know that you do a lot of your stuff online, but does the physical location of where you're at, or where you kind of operate your business, does it have an impact, or what is that like for you specifically?
Well, for me, I don't have a physical location where like people can walk in and purchase or try on clothes and things like that. Brick and mortar I have a warehouse, and with my warehouse, that's where we do all our production at. So under my LLC, I have several different brands. Trill and Lux is one of the biggest, but I have other clothing lines that I work with too. So I have like Greek licenses where we produce clothes for different fraternities and sororities. We have KC Apparel. We have a Humor Tea brand. So we have different brands that we produce for. And so we do it out of our warehouse. But for me, like I say, I started my eBay business back in college, and I knew that was the wave. You know what I mean? Before brick and mortar, became what it is today, which is almost extinct. You know what I mean? So if for me to get into brick and mortar, it would be a waste of money. But what I will do, though, what I'm looking to do in the next couple year or two, is to get into these shops, like let's say City Gear or those type of shops, because my brand does cater to that demographic. You know what I mean? And so I may go to a trade show and pitch them some clothing brands that we have and get in those shops. Other than that, yeah, you catch me online, trillandlux.com.
Yeah, no, and it's so it's cool that you're even with those successful existing places where you can still kind of get your merchandise in there, you're still trying to utilize that while acknowledging the fact that it's everything is online, and for the whole brick and mortars, you see like malls and these different stores are closing down. You're kind of putting that into play with your own business now.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely.
There you go. So now let's say that I'm coming to you. I'm like 16 or 17, like some of our listeners might be, or maybe even in college themselves. And I've got this great idea, or I want to start my own clothing line, but I have none of that, business know-how or whatever the case is. And, I just want to kind of start getting myself into the space of thinking like a business person. What type of concepts would you suggest to me to start off with as I'm kind of getting things together?
A few things. One, I would say, find out what you want to do and don't be scared to do it, right? Failure is just part of learning. I can tell you, as much as I've won, I've lost equally. You know what I mean? As like, I've had businesses that closed down that wasn't deemed successful, didn't make a lot of money, but with each failure, I learned something amazing that I could take into my next venture. So number one, fail. That's what I would say. Get out there and fail so you can learn, especially if you're young, 16, 17, in college, you know what I mean? You don't have that much to lose. Like if you get older, you got kids, you got to really contemplate like how I'm going to make things work, but it's still possible. But when you're young, you have so much room to fail. And that's where your life lessons at. And that's how you strive, right? Two, find out what you want to do. So if it's a clothing brand, if it's tech, software, apps, YouTube, whatever it is, find out what you want to do. Three, I would say research. Research is key. There's no point in reinventing the wheel, right? If the knowledge is already out there and you can see it and you can get ideas from it, then that's what you want to do. So for me, for an example, I would look up different brands that's in my my arena, right? And I won't imitate them, but what I will do is I'll research them. I want to know what their marketing look like. I want to know what the quality of their clothes look like. I want to know what their social media look like and how they're posting and how frequently they're posting. You know what I mean? And then I want to incorporate that with them in my business. So you're doing your research and knowing your brand and your target audience is key. And then you have to be tech savvy. You have to be a 360 person in business, right? You just can't be like, all I do is design. Yeah, you can design, but if you can't get your product in front of people to buy, then what's the point of, creating the brand? You need to be 360 with it. So I would give them that. And I would say, all right, if I was a 16-year-old kid in high school, I want to get into e-commerce, buying and selling. I want to get into trade. I would start off with a little Etsy store, and I would go buy stuff from like the dollar store, and I would sell it for, if it cost me $1, I'll sell it for $2, right? And I would learn the business that way, because there's a lot of learning that comes with that. You got to take in cost. Cost is really key. You got to know your numbers. You got to know math, right? So if I buy it for $1, then they're going to tax me. So it's $1.08. Right. And I put it on this platform and they charge me 20 cents to list it. And then they give me a transaction fee of 3.5 or something like that. All right. So we probably at 141 and cost, and then am I doing free shipping or is the customer paying for shipping? Right. So what's my potential upside on this? And how do I come to a potential upside on this? If it costs me $1, I'm all in at 148. I need to charge 3 times that amount to see a substantial profit. But you think about it. If you get it for $1, you charge me $3.48. It's $3.48. I don't mind spending $3.48, but you just came up $2.48 or whatever the math is. I'm just throwing it together.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say just try, man. Get out there and start felling immediately.
There you go. Perfect. Now, kind of similar to that, and one of the last questions I've got for you now, if you were to go back to, again, 16 or 17-year-old Laron and kind of talk to him about what you've learned up to this point, what advice would you give to him?
I would tell him to breathe easy. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Calm down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everything's gonna be okay. And I would tell him, what would I tell him? I would tell him just to be you and be comfortable in the skin you in and continue to, what you're doing is right? The path you're going down is right. Trust yourself, believe in yourself, and without any thought or doubt, because it's going to pay off.
There you go. That's what's up. All right. Now, before we wrap this up, Laron, I got a few fun questions for you. It's just 5 questions for you, just to kind of have the listeners learn a little bit more about you, just kind of through these things. So first, we're going to start with, what do you prefer, Apple or Spotify?
Apple.
Absolutely. All right.
Everything I got is Apple.
There you go. They're taking over. So now let's take out the pandemic. And you're at the cookout. What are you most likely doing at the cookout if somebody sees you?
I'm eating. I got a styrofoam plate up this close.
Yeah,
I'm getting busy with a mean 2-step.
Right, not dropping anything.
You hear me?
That's what's up. All right, now we talked before. You've been in Atlanta for a few years now. Again, you mentioned that you're from Chicago. Atlanta wings or Chicago pizza?
Chicago pizza all day.
There you go.
All day. 100%.
Doesn't leave, right?
Never.
All right. Now what if instead of the pizza, what if we threw in Harold's versus, probably the best Atlanta wings you've got?
No, it's no competition, bro. Like it's none. I tried the lemon pepper wet. You feel me? Yeah. I thought I was gonna get my mind blown. No.
That's what's up. And
Harold's all day.
That's refreshing to hear. It leaves.
Absolutely.
That's what's up. Now, being that you have this this whole clothing line and some other brands and things like that. You obviously have your own taste and everything. What article of clothing would you never be caught in?
Overalls. I don't think I could ever pull off a pair of overalls, not on my best day.
Now, if it ever became like the thing, if it became the wave at one point, would you incorporate that in your clothing line, or would you?
100%.
Okay.
100%. The thing is, you got to know your limitations. You got to know when you got to sub somebody else in. If I can't pull it off, I can go find a model that know how to take a good picture and they'll pull it off. So
there you go.
We're going to find a way.
Perfect. All right. And now last but not least, we're in the internet age, obviously, and memes have been the thing for the past several years, and they're still coming, especially if things are going on in the world. What would you say are your top 3 memes of all time?
I would say number 1 is above me now. Yeah. Because you feel me? I got no more for you. It's above
that's
me
it. But my pay grade.
Yeah. My man that does this thing right here.
Yeah.
That's 2.
Uh-huh.
That third one gonna be tough though. I like the new one that they got going on with the little cartoon man and woman.
Oh yeah,
conversation.
yeah.
I like that one.
You got everything for that one.
yeah, everything. So I'm gonna have to take that one.
There you go. All right, man. Well, but that's all I got for you, Laron. I truly appreciate your time. Now, before we do wrap up everything, I'm gonna give you the opportunity to, obviously let them know where they can find your merchandise, and anything else that you want to plug.
Okay, yeah. So, what we'll do is go to trillandlux.com. That's TRILLANDLUX.com. You'll see once you get there, we pivoted to hip hop, and not only hip hop, but sneakerheads, right? So in the back, those are all my trophies. Each one of those pair of shoes back there, I bought after I successfully created a design around them, and it's sold significantly. So you can go over there. And what we'll do for your listeners is we'll do a 20% off discount.
Oh, appreciate it.
Yeah. So let's do, give me 1 second. Let's do InQuire 20.
Perfect.
For the promo code, and 20% off for all your listeners. And yeah, that's what we got going on. And we got some new merch that's coming soon. That's crazy. I'm excited about it. And once it hits, I'll let you guys know.
All right, perfect. All right. Well, again, thank you for your time, Laron. And thanks everybody for listening, watching, however you're consuming this podcast. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. That's at InQuire Hire. And we also have InQuireHire.com. Definitely check us out. We've got a great deal of information, different industries, college consulting help if you want that. Definitely feel free to reach out to us. We would definitely want to be that personal one-on-one guidance to really help you get to your goals. So again, thanks again. And until next time, peace to you. Enjoy the rest of your day.